is pretty good, but like Coffee Bean is like Pimp
Yeah.
Daddy type
I
shit.
mean, like Starbucks is whatever, but it's also just such a big thing. It's kind of like, what else are you gonna get?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we
Like
don't really
what
have
else is there?
options. Yeah, exactly. Unless it's Big B,
Because
which
like
has burnt ass coffee.
Big B is gross.
Yeah. No shade, Big
Uh,
B.
And and like Dunkin' is fine, except like their coffee has like 4,000 grams of sugar. Did you see that
Dude,
video
I mean,
that
okay,
went around?
to be fair, Starbucks is the same way. They
That's
have
true. That's fair.
insane amounts of sugar in their drinks, which is
Hmm.
should be illegal at a certain point.
I saw this video that went around that like their cookies and cream latte from Dunkin' is has more sugar than like 14 of their glazed donuts combined.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
How?
insane.
I feel like even if you're not diabetic, that could still put you into some type of like sugar shock.
Like insulin overdose.
Yeah, right? Like you just
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there has to be some type of pushback once you
Yeah,
consume that
exactly.
much bullshit. Or it
I
just
feel like it
rots
would
you from the inside.
or it would cure your diabetes.
It's just such a shock to your body that it like reverses
It like
everything.
restarts everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's
those people
like,
who
hell
can't
yeah,
produce
I
this.
remember how to do this shit
It's like,
now.
oh, I got it now.
Now I know how to do sugar. That'd be incredible. Just like overexposing yourself to something, kind of like, like when you force yourself to do something because you're scared, like exposure therapy,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like you have to bring
With your
yourself to the edge
organs.
of death.
The only time you will live the fullest is when you're almost about to die. So
Exactly. You never feel
that's the
alive
philosophy.
until you're dying.
Exactly.
Speaking of dying, welcome back, first of all, to the Thought Void podcast. I am one of your hosts,
Yeah.
Vance Miller. That's Esden Reinstra, the
Yeah.
newest resident to Arizona.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about death. Isn't that right, Esden?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the undead specifically.
Yes. So that's
S-
exciting.
So I love the zombie apocalypse. Like that, I think about it probably an unhealthy amount.
It's
And like
exciting.
I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead when it came out. Um, and like I have books about the zombie apocalypse
See,
that I
this
read.
is,
Like I just picked up World War Z at a thrift store today or yesterday. Yeah, dude, I
I've seen the movie but
love it.
never read the book.
The book, I think so. It's the book and the movie are different, kind of.
I hear the book is like the real deal situation, and the movie's just kind of
Yeah.
like,
This the movie has aspects that are mentioned in the book, but like the book is about a guy, like a journalist who, after the zombie apocalypse happened,
hmm.
interviews people who survived the zombie apocalypse during like the rebuild of society and kind of gets stories
Oh.
from like the actual people, quote unquote, that survived. And like they're like soldiers and doctors and like people who were on ground zero and type of stuff. And it's a really interesting like
That's that
perspective on this
that
on
is
the
cool
apocalypse.
because it's almost like a first-hand journalist. Is it almost like you're reading like entries?
It's like you kind of get to like sit in on like inner like it's like he recorded the interview and then transcribed it, kind of.
Fascinating.
It's
Okay.
really cool.
That might be something interesting for me to get into. I've been trying to get into reading more because apparently it's actually good for your brain, and I do nothing that's good for my brain.
Yeah, you got to work out your frontal lobe before you become,
Yeah.
a vegetable.
Because the only reading I do is online or
Mm.
comic books. But I
Dude,
feel like
comic books
that
are low-key fire.
comic books has got to be good for your brain, bro. It's
I mean,
creative, right?
it's visually stimulating in a good way,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But
Um,
either way, today we're talking about zombies.
we're talking about the zombie apocalypse, specifically Con Plan 8888. Have you ever heard of this
I
before?
have never heard about this. This almost sounds like it's like a SCP kind of thing.
It's actually a real document. like real
Nice.
life.
Cool.
It's the United States government's plan for the zombie apocalypse.
Interesting. So they have like a real doomsday plan, which I guess you kind of have to, right?
You got to have something for
You
everything,
got to be
right?
ready. Got to be ready.
So I shared it with you, by the way, if you want to the unplugged email.
Dope.
So we're gonna get into it, but I wanted to talk about like if the zombie apocalypse were to happen right now, what would you do? And like how would you handle it in the same sense like the zombie apocalypse starts just like how COVID started. How we started to hear about it in other countries and they're like, well, we're fine now, but if it gets here, then that would suck, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I feel like if it happened right now specifically, like tonight,
Right tonight. This is it.
with everything else that's happening, we'd be so fucked. We'd be unbelievably fucked. I don't know how we would do it. Do
What
you,
would you personally do?
if the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse happened, if I saw cases popping up and I knew
Hmm.
100% sure, like, all right, this is it, boys,
Yeah, this is the end of the world right here.
would work be canceled tomorrow? Would I have to call in? That's the real
I like how the
question.
world is ending, and your first question is, "Do I have
Do
to
I
call
have
it?"
do I have to worry about work? If I don't have to worry
Yes.
about
Okay.
work,
Let's say right now, there are cases in like China or
okay,
like
so it's not here
Taiwan or
yet.
something, but it's not in the U.S. yet.
I would start going full prepper crazy mode. I would
Mm,
just I would get out of the city first of all, because that's like the main thing that people say is like the
hmm.
main fuck up, right? Is like going
Yeah.
to a city.
Hmm.
So I would probably go to my dad's house,
Okay.
like where
Smart.
we grew up. I'd go up
Hmm.
there with my girlfriend and some friends, probably you guys,
What did
see if
you
we could get our families to kind of make some type of compound.
like a weird commune, but without the cult part?
Yeah, and it would
Mm.
probably be at my dad's house just because of the property. But we
Yeah,
could
because
do it.
your dad lives on like a big lot of land, right?
Yes.
Big, right? My I have a very similar plan, but mine involves traveling 3 hours across Michigan.
And also having to get to Michigan because you're in Arizona.
Yeah, so because my grandma lives on a farm in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
Ooh, see that? Okay, so I feel like farms and zombie apocalypse never
Yeah,
go well.
no, they
There's
don't.
always some scary shit coming across the field at you as you're like mowing them down. You know what I mean? Like it's
It would
it's
be
it's horror movie material.
yeah, oh, it totally, dude. Well, my thought process is like it's like a mile in like every direction. It's just farmland, and then like way off, there's a bunch of woods where like they hunt and stuff. So we could hypothetically see anything that was coming at us
That
from a
is
distance.
true because you do want vantage points.
Exactly. And it's like living in an apartment complex as we do is probably the one of the worst places to
Oh,
try to survive
dude,
the apocalypse.
dude, if it happened here in my building, we'd be fucked.
Done.
We first
Dunzo.
of all, we would have in order to leave this building, we would have to go off the balcony. We'd have
Yeah,
to
you
like
would. You
we
would be
can't
fucked
walk
because
through this place.
that'd be such a cool like scene in a horror movie though. Like they have to get through the apartment complex.
And like through the parking garage and it's all
Yeah.
dark and there's like people
That
hiding in the
no
cars.
power.
Hell no, dude.
Oh, that'd be terrifying. That'd be sick.
Bro, I was in the
Hmm.
basement of our parking garage one time when the power went out. Talk
No, dude.
about before the emergency lights kicked on, it was like a minute.
Hmm.
It was pitch black. It's
I like that.
terrifying. It's just your headlights. It's so
Dude,
scary, bro.
that'd be awful.
Yeah, because you're turning like blind corners into like just pitch black abysses. And like you
Nice.
just turn and there's like zombies walking towards you
Just
in the
like a
parking
bunch of
garage.
zombies.
Nope.
I like to think that the zombies would be like the Walking Dead zombies and not like, you know, the
Super scary modern
super
zombies.
yeah. Like you ever played there's this game called Dying Light, and this is like a common zombie trope, I guess, is like during the day, like they're fine, but there's ones that come out at night that are like
Yeah,
violent.
extra
I think
powerful.
I think that'd be kind of fun. Not gonna lie.
Okay, so can you at least nap during the day in safety?
Yeah, so we actually kind of talk about like that scenario of what would happen if zombies like couldn't come out during the daytime.
Because I feel
That
like
you
that's
could,
my main thing is I have to be sleeping, bro.
Yeah, I know if I was like, and dude, so I don't, do you sleep with like a fan or like a sound machine or anything?
We have a fan.
The silence and like the black in the silence would drive me insane.
So I don't have much silence because if it's any type of quiet, the neighbor likes to like hammer something, or it's just like tap, 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 tap for like
He's
minutes.
he's actually insane. He's just smacking his head against the wall.
It's just
That's where
schizophrenic Joe is our
schizophrenic Joe.
neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
The
got
wall's
thought
just
void
dented and
written.
bloody.
Yeah, maybe that's patient zero. Maybe schizophrenic Joe is patient zero
He's writing thought void on the wall in his like
in
blood.
blood and feces and shit. I think the biggest concern for me though would be like we're both on mental health, like our mental health would be fucked is what I'm trying to say because
Oh
we're
yeah.
already depressed and we're
Dude,
already on medication.
if I miss a day of my Lexapro, it kind of like
Yeah.
fucks up the next day for me. So if
Mm.
I had to just like cut it off,
Cut that shit off while the world ends and like your loved ones are dying in front of you.
me and you would have to do it together. We'd
Yeah.
have to quit cold turkey together.
So we can keep each other from offing
We could
ourselves.
just bounce. We could just keep bouncing back and forth off of each other to keep each other alive.
We'd have to. I would need somebody to like keep me grounded from the
Same.
apocalypse.
Because if there was a
Yeah.
zombie apocalypse, I'd probably just turn the gun on myself.
It's like, you know
To
what?
be completely honest, that
I think-
shit's so scary.
Dude, it would be. I think like I love it and I love talking about it and I love like fantasizing about it. But like if it actually happened, dude, horrifying.
Yep.
Like every little noise would give me the worst panic attack.
Or do you remember how like during the pandemic, at first it was very doomsday, everything was shutting down. But like
Mhm.
once we got used to it, it was like this is life now. I feel like
Mhm.
you would get to that point.
I mean, it would be kind of. We'd all be meant like just horribly traumatized if we're so used to it
I mean,
that we don't care.
after a situation like that, there's no going back.
Nah,
Like
nah.
we'll forever be the ruined generation. But when
If
the
there
world
are
bounces,
from,
right,
if there are more to come back, yeah,
right. Say you and I saved the world single-handedly.
bet. I'm putting myself down after that. I'm gonna be real. Like if I survive long enough
You're-
to see society rebuild itself, I'm putting myself down. It's over.
You'll never be the same. You'll just close your eyes and just see screaming zombies.
Like if I had to watch like all my loved ones die and then society rebuilds, I'm just like, that pavement's looking mighty tasty right now.
I'm glad you guys made it and everything, and like I kind of carried you guys on my back, but I'm gonna paint the wall with my brain matter.
So I thought we could start this new civilization off with like a celebratory, kind of off with like a bang, and
Confetti.
I'm gonna start. Yes, 100%. Well, the plan that the government has kind of goes over the idea of keeping society functioning through the apocalypse, so that
Of course.
so that the like society doesn't become like The Walking Dead where everything is falling apart and everyone is dead and like everyone has to survive off of each other kind of thing. It's more of the zombie apocalypse happens, how do we control it so society continues the way that it's supposed to?
Do you really, I'm sure you'll get into it, but do you really think that we could power through something like that and still be like a working economy?
I think if we Can you hear that music? No? Okay. So I think there's a chance that we could power through the apocalypse like that if we were privy to it and weren't stupid about it.
And that was like another factor I was going to bring up is like the only reason it wouldn't be a shit show is if we found out immediately how it spreads.
Exactly. Like
That's like the main
like,
thing.
If it was like classic zombie, like you get bit or you die,
Right.
then I think there's a chance. But if it's like airborne and you could just start turning into
Foodborne,
zombies,
airborne, it's in produce, you'd be fucked.
yeah, it'd be over for
Yeah.
humanity.
But if it's like skin to skin or like biting contact, I think
like-
we could do it. I think we'd have a chance.
Yeah, because and they kind of talk about it a little bit in the document. It's like if you had proper screening for it and proper like ways to handle people who are infected before they turn into zombies.
Like an air
Then I
gun
think
at a pig farm.
exactly like if you could just take like one of those just rail guns, just like, oh, you got bit. Flunk. That'd be such a funny like it's like
Show
you're
me
watching.
your wounds.
It's like you're sitting there watching like your mother who was bit get like terminated by the U.S. government, and it's all silent. All I hear is
Just a metal rod. Jesus Christ.
that's fucked
The
up.
thing that okay, so me, okay, I'm thinking like you know how like the whole like air gun thing is just like a bolt that comes out and goes back in?
Mm-hmm.
Unsanitary.
No, that shit's disgusting.
But if you think about it, you're also dying. So it's
You
like
also have a horrible disease. You know, that's
true. I'm just talking about like right now, IRL. You just get shot in the head with a fucking bolt like a pig, and it just keeps going and going. And there's no,
dude, like the inside tube of that gun is caked
oh,
with
it's
gray matter.
no, it's not caked. It's lubed with gray matter.
Mm.
It's self-servicing.
They save on oil.
Yes, precisely. It runs on brain oils.
The air gun is the perfect weapon, is what you're saying.
Yes, we need to bring air guns to the zombie apocalypse.
Yes, just like a huge wall of air guns.
We just have to get super close to the enemy to kill them.
You got to be like
Pressed up
this,
against
and
them.
your aim better be perfect.
So what is their plan here?
Okay, so this this like presentation basically, or the notes that I have, is a lot of quotes and stuff directly from the documents.
Perfect.
So this is going to be kind of a decent chunk of reading. Like this episode's gonna be heavy in that department, but
Okay.
I have modded them a little bit to make a little bit more sense because they use a lot of like military jargon, and like you have to reference other plans to make certain acronyms make sense, and I didn't want to do that. So when I like, there are some generalizations that I've made to make it understandable.
You know what? That is totally fair.
Because I know
think the
you-
listener honestly appreciates it as well.
I was gonna say, because you and I and the listener have a collective IQ of like 40, and
yeah, literally.
understanding what the government is really going to do is way above our understanding.
Yep.
So
That's funny as fuck. So let's get into this shit, dude. I'm opening the slideshow. Let's do this.
bet. All right. So Con Plan 8888 is a 16-page training document from the Department of Defense Joint Operation Planning and Execution Systems, or JOPS, and that provided to be a very useful and enjoyable because it allowed trainees to explore new creative ideas. So basically, it was a hypothetical situation that was presented to people who are in training to make up a plan and then come up with creative ways on how to solve that plan so that they could better utilize what they come up with in like real life scenarios. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically they're just coming up with hypothetical issues and then figuring out how they would solve said hypothetical issues.
Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be kind of a fun job to sit around and
Wouldn't it?
get paid
Like,
to
just
shoot the shit
come
all
up with
day.
random shit. Like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, what would happen if alien spiders showed up? Well, we have to come
Holy
up with
shit.
a plan.
Could you imagine if like a crab robot army attacked us?
Dude, come up with a contingency plan right now.
Write that down. Write that down.
It's like, I feel like that's like the one branch of government where they encourage you to like smoke weed all day.
Yeah, they're like, you can have government acid for this job.
Yeah, it's like you and the boys need to go trip acid for like 4 hours and then
In the
come back
woods.
in the woods and come up with how we'd battle an army of armed Sasquatches.
Dude,
Like-
yes. Armed Sasquatches. I love
That's
it.
that's the job I want.
Yes, let's do it. Let's figure it out.
How do we apply for this?
We're doing it
So-
now.
Kinda, dude. That should be an episode where we just come up with stupid armed crab people and try to
Just
fight them.
hypothetical bullshit. See who
Yeah.
grabs at it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, so why do we have this document? Like, why can we access it? So, and from my understanding, there are two main reasons why it was unclassified or just not classified to begin with. It was kind of vague on which one it was. The main reason is because they didn't want people to think the zombie apocalypse could actually happen, and they didn't want like they just wanted to come out and say like, "Hey, we have this plan in case the zombie apocalypse happens," so that a journalist doesn't dig it up in like 50 years and be like, "Hey, the zombie apocalypse is gonna happen and the government knows about it."
I could see it like the government announcing that they're like letting these documents out and
Hmm.
people immediately spinning it and being like they're doing this because they know we're fucked. Doomsday
Yeah,
is coming, guys.
it's like,
Everyone
"Hey,
load
this
up."
zombies right now." Um, and then also in the document it says, in quote, "to maximize utility during times of crisis." So they also kind of want the public to know about this so that as many people can be privy to it when the zombie apocalypse hypothetically happens.
Think of it as a fire drill.
Yeah, but
You
like
know, you know how
way
to exit
more.
the building. You know how to fucking pop a zombie in the head and survive and
You know how to handle these
kill for
situations. We
supplies.
provided you a huge document that doesn't make any sense to anyone.
And now you guys can print this out just in case the apocalypse does happen. The
It's like a
AT&T servers
syllabus.
will be down, so there will be no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's like, okay, make sure you get a hard copy of this, okay? Go to the library, print it out, read it over a few times, put it somewhere
Staple
safe.
it with 3 staples, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle.
One directly in the center, so when you take it off, it rips open and you can't sit and read it anymore.
I meant like a book, but yeah, directly in the center of all the documents also works.
See, this is why I said my RIQ was like 47 because I was
This
picturing
is
like
why
one
you
in the
would
middle of the
die,
top,
Eston.
one in the middle.
Just in the middle of the fucking document so you can't open
It's like, dude, how are we supposed to get to the other pages? I don't know. Like, dude, why'd you staple it 4 times in the middle?
Why'd you staple a plus sign on this thing?
That's what the government said to do. No, they said to do it in the corner, not the middle. Okay, so this is where it's going to get a little complicated, so bear with me.
Okay.
The purpose of the plan is, and I quote, "This plan fulfills fictional contingency planning guidance tasking for the United States Strategic Command to develop a comprehensive JOPES Level 3 plan to undertake military operations to preserve non-zombie humans from threats posed by zombie hordes."
Okay.
So
So
let's break that up. Yeah.
the one thing you skipped over, Eston,
What
was
that skip from?
the abbreviation USSTRATCOM.
There are even more of those in here that are like USTRAT. Why? Like, my girlfriend came up with a great idea. Why don't just make it USSC,
Yeah,
not
literally.
USTRATCOM?
Because it's just the U.S. Strategic Command, not the USSTRATCOM.
Yeah, like
But it's
I,
supposed to
I
be U.S. Stratcom. I see that now,
mhm.
and it's whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's
it's just like
stupid.
it's stupid. And
Right, Eston?
there are
It's stupid.
tons of those. The government's stupid, guys. Don't trust the government.
Only listen to what we have to say, because
We
listen to
are
us
the
and you will survive.
You will survive. This is actually law. We are actually above the government.
Absolutely. What do you
Yeah.
think? We didn't post for weeks. We actually just been getting censored, blacklisted, if you will, from Spotify.
Yes. See, exactly. We just put out so much hard facts.
We put out so much back.
They actually sanitized our content, so it took out a bunch of episodes. Um, because zombies pose a threat to all non-zombie human life.
Oh.
Um, from this point on, I am the USTRATCOM. I'm just referring to as the military because that's basically what it is.
It's a zombie military.
Yeah. The military will be prepared to preserve the sanctity of human life and conduct operations in support of any human population, including traditional adversaries. So basically, the purpose is to make sure that as many humans survive the zombie apocalypse and that there is a cut and dry plan on how to do that when it happens.
Solid goal. Solid
Yeah.
goal.
Now, this plan has 3 main steps. And I kind of want your opinion on how you would go about accomplishing these 3 plans before we get into how the government would.
Okay.
So the first, hold on. Can you hear the AC?
I don't think so.
All right. So the first goal of the plan is to establish and maintain a vigilant defense condition aimed at protecting humankind from zombies.
Okay.
The second is, if necessary, conduct operations that will, if directed, eradicate zombie threats to human safety. And then the third is aid civil authorities in maintaining law and order and restore basic services during and after a zombie apocalypse or zombie attack.
Okay, so
So
basically,
yeah.
they want us to, right off the bat, get some type of vigilante army going to protect against the zombies. Right.
So, from my understanding, the first is basically to maintain a armed, some kind of protective condition for the people that aren't zombies yet.
Okay. And then there would be eradicate threats to human safety, so there'd be a lot of shooting going on, and then aid civil authorities in maintaining law. So we'd basically all just be we'd just all be helping each other out. Figure this out. We'd be aiding.
So, yeah, pretty much. We'd have to rely on pretty much everyone to not be fucks and to get through this.
Which I feel like we can never agree on shit.
Exactly. My thought process is like, this all sounds good and dandy, but as soon as somebody thinks I don't want to do that,
yep. Then what?
Then what?
You kill them?
You can't like,
and then everyone's killing people and zombies.
We can't even agree on like basic fundamental rights, guys. You think we can all agree to band together to like kill zombies and save the planet?
Absolutely not. There'd be like those people with their big trucks. I got this. Don't fucking worry about me.
Yeah, I am better than the military. And then they'd probably get eaten and die from dialysis poisoning or something.
Dialysis poisoning.
But so what plans would you, if you were the president right now?
Okay.
The zombie apocalypse is happening right now.
Okay.
And you have some time to coordinate things to protect the people, to fight the zombies, and to maintain law and order. How would you do that?
First of all, right off the bat, order everyone to stay at home, besides military and law enforcement.
Okay.
Law enforcement and military, if I was president, would be the ones roaming the entire country of the U.S. They would take control of over all the main cities.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have such a big military to begin with, you could just have all of them spread around the U.S., I feel like, pretty nicely to like keep the majority of stuff under control, to be honest. In our order, like, you'd have to have, just like with the pandemic, we would have to have like limits to stuff so people don't just buy all the toilet paper, all the bottled water, all the,
So if you have everyone at home outside of the military and like law enforcement, so like police officers and like, I'm assuming like ambulance and like
hospital,
like the public
staff,
public services would be fine.
Yep.
But so what about the people who make the toilet paper?
They're fucked. They're done.
But I'm like,
we're running out of products, brother. That's why we have limits on stuff.
The machine is gonna halt, is gonna come to an end.
We're pretty fucked.
We need to like stop that or slow that down as much as we can.
So I feel like what we would have to do is probably have like minimal workers around, I guess. You'd have to have some type of labor law go into place to keep contact low. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking too, is like instead of like in the movies you always see like mass quarantine areas.
Yep.
Right? But I think the best thing would be to try to almost shut everything down just like it was for COVID. And I also think that like even if there were like essential workers that needed to go in to keep the world moving kind of a thing, there are, like you could if you could detect someone if they were infected or not, you could have those in place at people's workplaces.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I mean, how you'd walk in, they would take your temperature and shit for certain jobs.
Yeah.
You'd have to go through like certain types of screening every fucking day. But like types of screenings where it's like you walk into work and it's very dystopian and there's like people in
hazmat suits and shit.
hazmat suits like testing you and all this stuff.
Hmm.
It would be a shit show, dude. It'd be really bad, but I think we could pull it off.
I think if everyone cooperated correctly, and like as much as like I know like when everyone was shut down and shut into their homes, there was a lot of people who were really upset about that.
There would be those people, but those would be the people that died.
But then the problem would be that if there was too many of those people, they would all turn into zombies.
Exactly. Then we would just have a fucking
A
issue.
fuck ton of zombies. And then like my biggest concern is not the zombies, but is the people like say we're stuck inside for a month. People usually people can't either afford or don't have the knowledge on how to have that much water and food and medical
I was
stuff
gonna
saved up.
say water is the issue. A lot of people would die
A
from
lot of people would
starvation.
die.
100%.
Well,
It would
then
get
see,
ugly so fast, bro. Honestly, I feel like scrap everything I've said so far. I feel like if the zombie apocalypse happened and there were laws,
it'd be over.
it would be, there. It's the purge.
I think it really would be because
Everyone for
like
themselves.
this plan is trying to prevent that. But I don't think the zombies are necessarily the downfall. I think it's the people's response to
Exactly.
the government's response to the zombies.
And it's not even the government's response. Like the government could try as hard as they want, but like
Hmm.
there's people out there. All those
There's a
people, the
lot.
rootin' tootin' boys, they're all gonna come out and start just fucking laying lead, whether you're a zombie or not. And they're gonna
They're
take
not-
your shit.
They're gonna start killing. Yeah, like could you imagine if everyone's like trapped in their apartments and then like someone takes over the apartment building
Yeah, it
and
just
like,
goes
starts to,
door
like
to door and just starts
just
blowing
starts
you to
killing-
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
It
own
would-
the whole building and all your shit.
Yeah, they just took everything over. And it's like if if I was sitting here with my family and we're running low on food and water and somebody needs it really bad, what's stopping like oh the law says I can't do that. Like bro, someone's gonna die and the law isn't gonna help them at all. I could totally see how somebody would be like, I'm breaking
Oh.
code of conduct and I'm gonna go rob the neighbors.
Desperate, bro. That's what it's all it'd get desperate so fucking fast.
I think riots would be immediate.
Riots, I feel like would be like in the beginning,
Hmm.
and that would be like the main thing that starts to spread it very fast.
Yeah. I
Like
agree,
rioting, large group protests, like all this
Mhm.
stuff. It would just start so quickly just because of that alone, I feel like.
and it would be so hard to get the message to everybody that like, hey, this is happening. Because like when COVID happened, sure we all heard about it, but like I don't think enough people were informed about it until a ton of people already had it.
And I don't think enough people took it seriously right at first
Hmm.
because, they would be like, oh, the zombie apocalypse is starting, guys. And people would be like, oh, they're just trying to cover up for because Jesus is coming back. You know what I
people
mean?
would think it's the rapture and then go
Yeah.
outside and then just get mauled to death.
Exactly.
Dude, I think religion would get weird too because they'd be like faith healers, like, oh, I can cure it with the power of God, and then just turn into a zombie.
It'd be kind of fun.
It'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of a cool like I saw this short film about a post-apocalyptic world, but like way in advance that the zombie apocalypse happened and they cleared it all up, but people whenever you died, you would come back as a zombie. And but
Ah,
so they would have a service if you had like you wanted to die at home or in the hospital, they have a service come, and then after you died and everyone was like, okay, I said my goodbyes and everything, they wait for you to die and then they would kill you again so that you wouldn't be like turn people into zombies.
that's smart. Like they just kind of cap
Yeah.
you in the head.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that's your job? Just walk around shooting dead bodies with air guns.
Hey man,
Flunk, flunk.
if there are work, I'd rather do that than work at like McDonald's, let's be honest.
Flipping people burgers. All the cows are dead, so we got to start using human.
So yeah, it's like we put them down before they turn so we can eat them.
Yeah, we're running out of stock, boys.
So we become the zombies, but we're not dead yet.
We become cannibals.
I like that. Okay, so this next slide is conditions for implementation. So basically, when are we going to implement this plan? Like, when will the government start this? And this is a pretty heavy chunk of reading, so we're probably going to take it in like stages. So the plan would start when okay, so sorry. Zombies are horribly dangerous to all human life, and zombie infections have the potential to seriously undermine national security and economic activities that sustain our way of life. Therefore, having a population that is not composed of zombies or at risk from their influence is vital to the U.S. and allied national interests. While the U.S. currently enjoys several asymmetric advantages in against zombie infections originating in the Eurasia landmass, these advantages can easily be negated by air and sea traffic that could transport the source of a zombie infection to North and South America. So, does that? Do you have
Yeah,
any questions?
so basically, if anything were to happen,
Hmm.
zombies are classified obviously as horribly dangerous to
Hmm.
literally anybody. So what they would do is if it started in a different country, you'd straight up just not be able to go there.
Exactly. So they're saying that the US, if it starts like COVID did in China, we'd have to shut everything down. No access to China. Nobody there could come here.
Which
But
hopefully they would do that like first case.
yeah, like
First case that pops up and they
patient
know
zero, done.
done.
Nuke all of China.
Boom. Ban China off the list. Who's next?
And who's next? The
Probably most of
no,
Europe.
probably all of that entire. Could you imagine how crazy that would be if like the entire Eurasian continent was just zombies?
Oh, it would happen so fast because we just have
Hmm.
Canada and Mexico and South
And
America.
South America.
Which I feel like South America would be easy to defend though because of the tiny bit that touches us. Like it's like so small, we could just have that border lined up.
Well, think of my thought process is like, I don't know how controlling the border is going now, but it's not great. So if the
Not
zombie
great.
apocalypse happens, how are we gonna,
But also
because
now there's if there's zombies, there'd be no like legal issues. We wouldn't have
true.
to treat them with any type of, we'd just be able to, oh, there's a zombie crawling over that 300-foot wall we built. Pop them.
But what about like the people? Because I feel like, say we shut down all borders and all, because they're saying in this section is that like
It'd get dark.
it would get really violent because
Because they would also get shot, probably.
probably
You
because
wouldn't be able to leave the country if
no,
your country was shut down, which is bad.
you couldn't. It would be like COVID, but infinitely worse, where you couldn't travel to different countries.
Yeah, because then you're
But
kind of like fucking over the other people that are fine.
that's what I'm getting at. And the problem with that is that, say America shuts down all their borders and all their shipments from China, and China is infected with the zombie virus, and then somebody from South America or Mexico goes to China, gets infected somehow via blood, or they're bitten and they don't care, and yada yada, and then they fly back and then are somehow smuggled in over the border, or like they get missed in the screening process or something, and then America's infected. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like what would have to happen is as soon as we know what's happening, we'd have to like send out like some type of international announcement saying like return to your homeland within this many days, otherwise you will be stuck where you're at. Kind of deal.
Yeah, like you are either going to leave where you are and show up, or you're never coming back in here until this is figured out,
Right.
which would suck.
I'd rather be
I mean,
stuck in America, my guy.
I know, same. Like, imagine if you had visited imagine you visit China, right, or Japan, a country where you
Japan,
can't speak,
oh fuck.
like
You're
you
in
can't speak
Tokyo
the language, and the zombie apocalypse happens.
and you can't even speak to zombies in Chinese.
You think their like growls are different?
I almost made a growl, but I should.
I know. I was thinking about it, but I'm like, this is gonna get.
But I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if I should do an accented growl.
Could you even do that? Do that?
Oh, I could do it.
Do it. We'll cut it out. I want to hear it.
You're gonna have to
So
cut those out. You're gonna have to bleep that out.
I'll bleep it. I'll bleep it. So further, asteroids and nuclear space radiation that can convert people into zombies can affect any landmass or population on Earth. Given the rapidity at which zombie outbreaks spread, decisive, overwhelming, and possibly unilateral military force may be required to negate the zombie threat. So basically, if there are space zombies, which we talk about, then we're fucked. And then at that point, the military could basically do whatever it wants.
So this is kind of what I was thinking about earlier today because I knew this episode was coming up.
Mhm.
So there's like multiple types of said apocalypse, zombie apocalypse type situations. There's alien bugs,
Mhm.
right? Real
Yes.
human zombies,
Mhm.
space robots,
Mhm.
and aliens. There's only a few things that could take over the Earth, but I feel like the zombies wouldn't come from space out of all of them.
Well, my thought process is, what if there was like an asteroid that was like a ball of ice and it hit the Earth and
I
there was like
guess,
a virus in it? I mean, space AIDS.
but that I got de-thawed space AIDS.
Yeah, exactly. And then you turn
Fuck.
into a zombie.
I feel like, I mean, we would have, at that point, we would have, that would open up a whole nother Pandora's box. Because, like,
Mhm.
okay, well, where did this come from? And
Where'd this
after
come
we had
from?
the zombie apocalypse, we'd have to figure out where it came from. And then we would go to said fucked planet, and we'd probably just restart the whole thing again.
Dude, I had this idea. So if this would be a good movie. If there's an asteroid, right, that strikes the planet,
Right.
it has the zombie virus on it
Space zombie AIDS.
from, wherever, and then we find out where it came from, but it was a planet that was overrun by zombies that the alien population exploded. Like it's a chunk of the planet.
A piece of the planet is the asteroid that hit us.
Yeah,
So once it thaws, there's going to be zombies in the ice.
it could be. It'd be like caveman, but zombies.
It's kind of like when you there's like a fly outside and it's cold out, or like in the window and it's like dead, and then you blow on it and it
And
comes
it's
back
actually
alive.
alive.
Yeah,
That's gonna be that's how, yeah.
it's gonna
Or like,
de-thaw and start moving again.
yeah. There could be zombies in Antarctica right now.
I'm sure there is somewhere. We've all seen the movie Thing.
I love that movie so much,
Add it
dude.
to it.
So these are some legal considerations that the government has to take into account. And this is technically later in the document, but I feel like it fits better here.
Okay.
Basically, this is a quote. Basically, there are almost no restrictions of offensive or defense hostile actions when dealing with, quote, pathogenic life forms, organic robots, and organic robotic entities or traditional zombies. And because zombies would be such a massive threat to humanity, martial law would be issued in the states in all U.S. territories.
And martial law is pretty much everyone for themselves, correct?
No, that's anarchy. Martial law is where the government, basically the president, from my understanding, takes over everything, and you
The
can't do
military.
anything. Yeah, you can't is controlling the country via the military, and you can't do anything without the government's consent.
Okay. For some reason, I thought martial law was like everyone's kind of armed by themselves.
I think you're thinking of anarchy, where there is no law at all. I think, right?
I could be wrong. Who fucking knows? I don't know anything.
So now we get to talk about the actual zombies.
Different types.
There are several different types of hypothetical zombies. So there are pathogenic zombies, which is your basic, from a virus or a bacteria, some kind of disease spreading zombie, stereotypical.
Basic hose
Walking
of
Dead.
the zombies.
Yes. There's radiation zombies, which are zombie life forms formed after being infected by an extreme dose of electromagnetic rays or particles or radiation of some kind.
Japan.
So basically, Japan is a
The Japanese are radiated zombies. That's what
yes.
Okay, actually, depending on the area, do you think there would be different like races or species of zombies, or no, because it's all from the same disease?
Like you think, I think if it was like a fungus is zombie, it could like hypothetically have
Mutate and shit.
different mutated things, or if the virus mutated fast enough to adapt, like I don't know if there could be like in the more northern countries if there were zombies that were more resilient to the cold.
Because to me, when it comes to the radiation zombies, I don't
Hmm.
think they would be able to spread their disease because they got
Yeah,
infected
yeah,
from radiation.
yeah.
Unless they are so radiated that you can come in contact for a split second and you're fucked.
Which then I would feel like that the human body would, if that, I feel like that much
Deteriorate.
radiation would just kill them.
Like they wouldn't even be able to function. Like they would just be liquid. They would just
Yeah,
melt.
like, have you ever seen Chernobyl, the TV show?
No.
Well, you should watch it. It's really good. But they show like people who are irradiated from the blast, and they're fucked. Like, there's no way that zombie's getting up. That shit's like fused to the ground. You know?
You are literally a shadow, friend.
Yeah, shadow zombies.
Yeah, shadow zombies. That's a scary twist.
So next we have evil magic zombies.
Hell yes.
So these are zombies that are created from like an occult experiment, evil magic, so like necromancy kind of thing, or some demonic possession, which I
Raised
think is
from the
pretty
dead.
rad. Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly.
Like the type of zombies you get when you go to a grave and raise them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like you cut your hand open over some herbs and say like some weird shit in Latin, and the
And then
zombies
the
rise.
hand comes through the ground in front of the
Yep.
tombstone. Yeah, we know the story. Okay. Interesting.
There are space zombies. So
Yes.
space zombies that are from space or were created by some toxin or contaminant um, via an extraterrestrial body, like a planet or radiation or anything from space.
Which is hypothetically, in my opinion, the scariest zombie because it's the least we would know about, period.
Yeah, because like
At
the
least we understand
zombie,
radiation.
like I think any virus from space would be horrible because it could be totally different than any other virus
It
we've
would
ever talked about.
destabilize us immediately.
It would be over so
Yeah,
fast.
we'd be dead so
Zombie
fast.
smallpox over.
The zombies give us a blanket.
There are weaponized zombies, so this is more of a like
Yo.
if someone deliberately created some kind of bioweapon or made a zombie and then used it as a weapon against people.
So Putin's Russian zombie army.
Is that a thing?
Probably. I don't
All
fucking
right, then
know.
yeah.
They're all like
It's
half bionic and shit.
that'd be kind of sick
It'd be sick.
in like the worst way possible. Then we have symbiote. How do you say that word? I don't
Symbiont?
know. Symbiont infused induced zombie, which I'm not really. I still don't quite understand this, but I'm thinking it's more of a like some kind of like parasitic relationship with some kind of other organism, like you were saying, like space worms turning people into zombies.
Okay, so
Poss-
zombie life forms originating from the introduction of a symbiont life form or an otherwise healthy host. That doesn't help anything.
that doesn't help at
That
all.
does nothing for this podcast.
No. Yeah, it's basically just a symbiote or life form in an otherwise healthy host. Although sometimes a zombie similar to most, it would be like a pathogen. Yeah, it'd be like a parasite.
So you're
It
being
doesn't.
controlled by a small bug situation.
Yeah, so honestly, that might be the easiest to fight because if you had it, you could hypothetically go to the doctor and get it removed.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting a tick on you.
Hmm. Like I think about that fungus that like turns ants into zombies.
Yes, yes.
It's like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes
So,
them
like,
like cannibalistic and shit.
Hmm.
It's so cool, so metal.
I see. That's why I love The Last of Us so much because it like plays on that a little bit.
Yeah. I have The Last of Us on PS4, but I've never played it.
I've never played it either, but I watched the show and that shit. You watch the show?
No. The face. For you listeners out there, Esden just immediately died inside.
It is. It's honestly so good. It's
Yeah?
so good.
Interesting.
I know
I'll
it's like
have to
the
try
hype.
it out.
There's this episode I'm gonna spoil a little bit.
Do it.
It's do you know who the you know Parks and Rec?
Yes.
The guy who plays Ron Swanson?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's awesome. He's in a lot of stuff now.
There is an episode where he plays like this doomsday prepper, like super like I have tons of guns, set up a whole thing. And he turns out to be gay, and he only figures that out once the apocalypse starts and he comes to like terms with it.
I
And
love
it is
that.
the most beautiful, most depressing, just the best episode in any TV show I've ever seen. It is dude, I almost cried. It was insane.
That is awesome when you find a good show like that. And right now, I actually started a show today called
Hmm.
Reaper, and it came out in
Okay.
like the early 2000s, somewhere in there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Incredible show. Got canceled because of the writer's strike in like 2007, but it's a good show. There's like 30 episodes. It's pretty
Oh,
fucking sick.
nice, nice. We've been rewatching Supernatural. It's my favorite TV show, dude. I love that shit so much.
Haven't watched a ton of it, but I know what it's about.
It's the best show ever. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it consistently in my
Consistently,
veins.
over and over.
Just have that on loop in the background. And then there are two other zombies. There are the vegetarian zombies, and this is inspired by like Plants vs Zombies.
Best game, best mobile game out there. This
Just
is
the
not
bomb
sponsored.
shits.
I wish it
I wish it
was.
was. It's the concern with the vegetarian zombies is not that they would eat us, but they would start to eat the crops and the trees and the plants and shit,
Could you
and then wouldn't have food or oxygen anymore.
could you imagine if like the zombie apocalypse happened and
Mhm.
it was like the zombies just wound up being like pests, not like
Yeah,
a
they're
real
just like
threat. They're just like
annoying. We need to get another
pests.
pesticide for it.
Yeah. It's like how farmers go out and like shoot coyotes and shit. They're just like, well, we gotta
There
go
you go.
shoot the fucking zombies. They're eating all the corn this year.
The neighbor's family turned into zombies. They're eating the corn. Got to take them out.
The fucking Robinsons. Such a
But Dad,
weird.
no, I love the Robinsons. Well, they're dead.
They're
Gotta do what
dead.
I gotta do.
I ran
They're
them over to
dead.
combine.
They're actually in tonight's dinner. That right there, deep fried
God.
Robinson.
God damn. That's not
And then
tofu.
that's not tofu. And then finally we have chicken zombies. Now, this is the only class of zombie that actually exists.
Okay.
Dude, the face
Okay.
that Vance just made, he was just so into this topic.
I'm Googling fucking chicken zombies because I love this. And it's an album by The Michael Gunn, released in 1997.
Yo, can we play that?
I don't know.
Chicken zombies?
I don't know. But yeah, chicken zombies. How does this work?
It's
Are-
basically a zombie chicken, and the chicken
it's real.
survived. It's real. Like this article that I just found basically says that it survived the euthanasia process,
It's
and
all
it died
gray.
and came back, and
And
so it
it's all
didn't fully die.
gray.
Yeah. We can.
What?
Is that it? Is that the?
If you just type in chicken zombies, there's one that comes up specifically in a few photos. Looks like it's screenshotted maybe from TikTok. The chicken's just like just gray.
We'll try to put that up in the.
We'll figure that out and throw it up for you guys. But that's fascinating if that's what that is.
Yeah, it's
But anyway,
and then there was like that chicken that was like beheaded and lived for like a year,
Jesus Christ, how terrifying! That poor thing.
and became like super famous. Um, Basically what happens is the chickens can no longer lay eggs, so the poultry farmer will use carbon monoxide to kill them, and then this one just happened to die and kind of come back, and then eventually it died from
Oh.
organ failure.
Well, yeah, it sounds like he didn't have enough time in the bad
In the thing.
gas, and then it just
Yeah.
kind of halfway killed all of his organs. Poor fucker, dude. He's probably in
Pretty
so much
much.
pain.
He's
Poor
probably
guy.
so,
Jesus
his
Christ.
brain is honestly there's probably so little brain function at that point we
Oh,
probably can't even
no.
perceive it, dude.
All of his brain function is going to his half-working fucking liver.
And intestine and shit. Like he's just like
Poor thing. That makes me sad.
it
That's
is
less
sad.
cool than I thought it would be.
but imagine if the world was taken over by zombie chickens.
That would break my heart.
That would
I
be
love birds.
hilarious. Dude, I love pigeons and there are so many.
I
here.
love pigeons. I'm glad
I know.
Arizona has pigeons. They're not all sweated away.
No,
Are
I
they the
want them.
same? The same kind?
They're real. Yeah, pretty much.
Huh. Interesting.
I want a tattoo of a pigeon with a sombrero on it
Me too.
and a gun.
We'll get that. We'll get that when I move south. We'll
Bet.
figure that out.
So those are the hypothetical zombies that we are going to have to defend ourselves against. Everything from
zombies.
space magic to chicken zombies.
Cool.
So we have some assumptions that we are going to that the government has when going into the apocalypse, and there's a lot. So strap in.
All right.
So, the US and allies will have the situational awareness necessary to conduct an all counter zombie dominance operations in this plan. So, basically, kind of what we were talking about earlier is that the government is privy enough and smart enough to understand that the zombie apocalypse is happening and is competent enough to defend us from it. Which, honestly, I have very little faith in.
I was going to say, that's putting a lot of eggs in
That's a
one
lot of-
basket. That's a lot of scrambled eggs in one fucking basket.
Yeah, so but for this sake of this, episode, we're going to assume that the government is competent at something. Number 2, zombie forces will become stronger with each human casualties because each person who dies will become a zombie.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to
True.
be bitten by a zombie to turn into a zombie. You just have to die and then you'll turn into a zombie. They assume that the Allied forces and the military of the U.S. will eventually start to degrade due to production and stuff like slowing down
Obviously,
and like
yeah.
process, basic stuff. Humanitarian law will not apply to zombies because they're dead. Duh.
That's fucked
And-
up. So you're telling me they get to walk into the Apple store, grab 7 iPhones, and they get to walk free?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm assuming someone will probably shoot them in the process, but like, yeah, if they
It's
get
fucked
away
up,
with it.
bro. It's fucked up, bro.
You-
And then
you
next
just
thing you
pretend to be
know,
a zombie.
fucking the zombies selling shit on eBay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you dress up as a zombie and you're like walking. Oh, this
Or it's
iPad
like-
looks so good. Let me just wander away with it.
Or we get so progressive that we can live amongst the zombies.
Oh my, dude, there would definitely be
about
some bitches out there that are like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself to the zombies for support. I'm
But
an
I can
ally of the
change them.
zombies. I can cure them. Domestic law enforcement will address any attacks involving zombies appropriately until martial law is declared. So this is assuming that the police and of states and counties will be able to handle their jurisdiction's zombie problem before martial law kicks in.
That's
That's a
a
heavy
lot
ask.
of eggs in one basket.
Yeah, which again, I think that's kind of where it's all gonna go to shit because everyone's like, oh, the police will take care of it. When like, dude, there's like 6 police officers in like in a
Yeah,
40-mile radius. Like,
All
come
the
on.
other ones are fucking dead because the zombies.
100%. There's no cure, and once somebody's infected, they cannot be cured or can reverted back to human from zombies. So once you're zombied, you're dead. It's gone.
So even if say there's offending zombies and non-offending zombies. There's violent ones that have a track record. they have a legal rap. Okay. But there's good zombies that are like, no, don't kill me. What do? Do you just fucking shoot him in the back of the head?
You put them down. Gotta put them down.
Fuck.
Because this is gonna sound really fucked up because it's like humanizing the zombie. If the zombie is like, oh, this one hasn't killed anybody, eventually it's gonna kill somebody.
The space zombies are here just to strictly manipulate us to trust them.
Yeah.
That's part of their 4-year plan. Gain human trust, and then we can kill them.
See, it's not aliens. We're not controlled by lizard people from underneath the earth. We're
It's
controlled by
space
space
zombies.
zombies.
That's what it is.
That's why
space
that's
crab
why
zombies.
politicians live for so long.
Yeah, because they
they're all
don't actually
zombies.
die. They just get deteriorated to the point where they have to like go back to space because they can no longer be amongst us.
It's like our planet has like a degenerate effect on them over
I
time.
mean, yeah,
And then they have to leave. I think we're onto something.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, wait. What if zombies are actually just aliens? And like you said, our atmosphere is just like degenerative So like their skin and
Mm.
cells can't live here, so they eventually just deteriorate so much where they have to go back and regenerate.
Dude, legions of regenerating space zombies just
Yes.
invade Earth.
And
That
they
is
can
the
keep coming
coolest
back in
plot line.
waves. And they can just keep
It's
coming
like
back.
it's like Call of Duty zombies, but like in real life.
Round 3.
He's like, fuck. I want this.
Me too.
I want this story. Um, the only way to effectively kill a zombie is firepower to the head because duh.
Because
But
classics.
the brain isn't fully functioning, but it's the brain stem that is reanimated.
So they kind of got to shoot at like the base of the neck then
Like
from the
neck
back.
air, like over here.
Yeah,
Like
from
cut
the
their heads
back.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The only way to ensure that a zombie's actually dead is to burn it. Just get rid of all of it. So
Damn.
that would be really fucked up to watch to have like just in the streets just piles of
That's
piles.
yeah.
That's a crazy visual.
That's insanely inconvenient.
He's like, I gotta get to work, dude. I'm an essential worker, and
Hey
there's like a
yo!
pile
You're
up
like
on the
leaning out
405.
your car, honking the horn. Let's move the bodies.
He's like, there's like a dump truck just full. I'm like, hey,
He's like, I'm trying to back up, yeah. There's just like dead bodies everywhere, and it smells like shit. And everyone's still just having
Oh.
their basic human arguments.
dude. I feel like the carcinogens from burning the zombies would kill us faster than the zombies would kill us.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like that's how it gets airborne, is burning it, to be
Is
honest.
burning it, yeah.
I feel like
We
you have to
have to-
dissolve it.
Like an acid.
Yes.
Well, then where do we put the acid?
Dude, the acid is so fucking acidy that it just kills everything.
It just melts, dude.
It's just forever acid. Like nothing can
melts.
survive in it.
There's just like a pit of acid they just throw all the dead bodies in
Yep, and it's just slowly burning through the earth.
to the core, and it's eventually gonna come out like in like some weird third world country.
China.
It's coming full circle. I think this next point is okay. Burning zombies is the only way to ensure that they're actually dead, except for evil magic zombies are the only class
Uh-huh.
that may be vulnerable to who may not be vulnerable to this, depending on how magical they are.
You see, and silly me, I forgot about the EMGs or the EMZs.
Yeah,
So-
of course,
Of course, they're gonna come back to life after being burnt. They're fire retardant, bro. They're fine.
yeah, it's you can't burn them alive
No.
or dead. That and the chaplain corpse may provide the only viable means of combating EMZs. Which, did you know that was a thing?
No.
It's a branch of the military that is just a bunch of clergy members who have been ordained by all of the faiths of the world,
What?
or just a majority of them. So it's just like a branch of the military that's just like a bunch of priests.
Just a bunch of old heads from different religions?
Yeah, and
That's
they're
wild.
saying because of the occult magic going on with the evil magic zombies that might be the only branch of military that could actually defend us from them.
Bro, I'm trying to smoke down the chaplain corps. Like,
Wouldn't that be such a
seriously, I'm
like a
trying to get
sick
spiritual
circle?
with these boys. A
Having
crazy,
enlightenment.
a crazy fucking.
Yeah, like everyone gets to say a passage from their own book as the joint goes around. That would be nuts.
You have to say your passage and then take a hit and then pass it, and then the other person has to say something and take a hit and pass it.
I bet you at the end of the day, everyone would just be agreed on the same thing.
Yep, we would have one
We'd have one religion. Yeah, it'd all be fine. And atheists could be particularly vulnerable to evil magic zombies.
Hey, wait, vulnerable. Fuck.
Yeah, because the thought process, from my understanding, is that atheists who don't believe in a higher power will not consider the evil zombies as threatening as they would be to like on a spiritual sense.
If you get killed by an evil magic zombie, sorry, you immediately get drugged to hell.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how that would work.
I feel like you would just be a crack would open up in the earth.
I was
and
gonna
you would
say, like a pit of just screams and swirling clouds, and you would just disappear, just for like a split second. It's like, "Rah!" and you're just gone.
it'd be like so fast too that it'd be like, dude, what the fuck was that?
It'd be like, what? The fuck?
What if that's how people like when you were gonna die, that's just how you went to hell, like a bunch of hands come out of the ground and drag you to this pit. And you're like, oh, their grandma was so sweet in her time.
Holy
That
shit, grandma is a badass.
um and then this is assumptions continued. Because accurate intelligence relating to zombies is hard to obtain because it's obviously not real. The planners will have to assume worst case scenario and drive from popular culture references to determine what that would be. There are, and then even if infected by a zombie, contaminant, or pathogen, human biology requires a regular intake of water and food. Absent proper hydration to offset the effects of progressive zombieism, zombie-infected humans will expire or will experience organ failure that will immobilize or kill the host within 30 to 40 days. So basically, I thought this was interesting because I never thought of this, but
Whoa.
the body's going to still need shit to function, like
Yeah, it's gonna
stuff
need
that we
some
eat,
type of power,
like
some type of
nutrients and stuff,
protein, and yeah.
water and all that. That eventually, because human flesh isn't going to provide that, roughly 30 to 40 days after you get infected, your body will shut down, and you'll be immobile.
So you do have you do have an expiration. So honestly, I feel
Yeah.
like could the zombie? I mean, with what we were talking about earlier, with like just straight up like, boom, first case, banned, can't go to that country, can't leave that country.
Mhm.
You're done. That's it until everything's figured out. I
Yeah.
feel like we could get it knocked out pretty fast.
Yeah, I think unless the virus or the aliens or the worms like
Space
stop
crabs,
that space crabs, if you get space crabs and they like slow the decomposition process down,
that'd be bad. That'd be bad.
that would be bad. But if it didn't, then I think it would just be like another COVID.
I feel like the evil magic zombies though.
Yeah, that would
Those
be
ones
the
won't
only.
decompose.
Those won't decompose because like that's like the point.
They're
Is that
evil magic zombies, bro.
they're
They're
evil magic
EMZs.
zombies.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
Know your
so
shit.
like let's get on the same
Think
wavelength here,
about
guys.
it.
Think about the zombies that are magic that can shoot fire.
Evil magic zombies.
Evil magic zombies. Do you think there
Shooting
could be good
lightning
magic
bolts and
zombies?
shit. No. God
Why
Force
not?
zombies.
God Force.
GFZs.
See, the God Force is going to be the leading army against the EMZ armies of the
Absolutely.
damned. So,
Just
subscribe if you want to be part
just
of it.
holding an upside down cross, running into war.
Yeah.
The
You don't know
podcast
what
just
to pick.
blaring.
You don't know what to pick, so you're just like strapped up with every religious symbol ever, and you're just running
Star
at
of
full
David.
speed.
Cross.
Yin Yang,
Yeah.
Mandala.
Everything.
You're sitting there like with one, like you're reading the Bible, then you stop, you pick up the Quran, you read it, stop, doesn't work. You're just sitting there like going through all the
Just
books, trying
reading
to
hella
exercise.
verses from different things.
Yeah. Um. So I thought that was an interesting point, though, that eventually all of the zombies would just
Yeah.
if we could survive the initial panic of everyone, we'd be fine as long as we could stay put for long enough.
If we can stay put for roughly a month or two, I think we'd
We'd be fine.
beat it. We'd beat it, I think.
Mhm. Hand sanitizer products could help prevent the spread, but not stop it. So kind of like with COVID, they would ensure that you have to ensure that you were keeping your environment and yourself clean so that you don't get sick, obviously.
Well, and honestly, like Germex has been telling us this for years, kills 99.99%.
Yeah, so if you just inhale
0.01% is zombie crabs from space.
Zombie crabs. So come
That's
on,
the
Lysol.
0.01%.
Let's get that 0.0%. We don't want zombie crabs. Zombies are undead and they don't feel pain, they don't fear death, and that riot control would be obviously ineffective to zombies because they're not going to listen to anybody.
The thing to me that's like weird about zombies is that, like, people always depict them with like superhuman strength, and I feel like with the deterioration process, your muscles are like, if you starve yourself, right? Your muscles are the first thing to go.
Yeah, you're weak
Not the
as fuck.
fat, the muscles. So if you're a zombie, I feel like your muscles are going to go away fast as fuck.
I feel like zombies, outside of the magic zombies or some weird space aids, they'll just be super frail.
Yeah,
And they
you
wouldn't be
just
able to
push
move
them
very
over.
fast.
You could punch them in the head
Yeah.
and they would die, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Their heads would be like
Like,
newborn babies. You could just they die.
yeah, and if they only last about like roughly a month, they're not going to be full 100% power the full month. They're going to start, slowing down about halfway through, right?
I would
They're,
assume,
they're
or
going to
even
get to like some type of half-life.
I mean, and it would depend on the person too, because if I go like a day without eating,
I am
I'm
zero
pissed.
threat
I have
to
no
anybody.
strength. Yeah, like I'm not moving. I am basically dead. So
Yep.
I feel like that person's after like the third day, the dehydration would be horrific.
Immobilizing. Like,
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of the zombie issues wouldn't survive past a week. Unless you could somehow, unless they, like, if they were eating people and then the water in people's blood, if that's a thing, kept
I
them
don't,
hydrated,
I mean,
I don't think they would survive that long.
I don't think they would either because eventually they'd just start drying up and they would literally start like kind
They'd
of
be
just like
mummies.
crumbling apart.
It'd be like really bad beef jerky. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be it'd be the weakest beef jerky because it's actively like all the fibers in your muscles are just gone.
Gone.
It
Like,
would be like tender chicken.
it'd be like really, you could just pull that shit apart.
You punch
hit
a
with your
zombie
car,
and your
just
hand just like splits into
sinks,
it. Oh,
just sinks into their head. Just, oh, that'd be kind
oh.
of fun.
It'd be
Not
kind
gonna
of fun
lie.
until it looked back at you and it didn't die and it was just like, uh.
And the last assumption is that the human instinct for self-preservation can cause newly infected zombie hosts to deny their imminent zombification by nearby to other people. So, I think that would be personally the biggest concern is that, like, say, one of your friends or family members gets bit and they don't tell you because they don't want you to kill them off.
Oh,
That'd be rough.
and that's such like a sad, dark thing because you almost couldn't blame them.
Yeah, because like I don't want.
Could you imagine if like one of our girlfriends?
I would keep her alive as long as possible.
Me too. I would let her turn me,
I probably would too, honestly.
and then we would have one good last zombie fuck.
I think
You look over.
like,
Is she over there?
yeah, she's sitting on the porch over here.
You're like, let me analyze this situation. If she was a zombie,
I'm just trying to think of like what she would want. Because I don't think I would want to do whatever it is that she wanted because I don't think
Right.
she would want to turn me. She'd be like, you have to do this because I don't want to.
shoot me, babe.
Do it.
I would
And you're
turn just to be romantic and die
Mm.
with her.
That's some just weird, fucked up, disturbed Romeo and Juliet type.
Mainly because I'm just lazy and I just kind of want to just disappear. And I could just lay there as a zombie and be like, well, now I can just die in a month staring at the ceiling.
I wonder though if the turning process would suck.
Feeling all of your cells actively die would probably be pretty bad. Feeling your nervous system just go
Shutting
away.
down, and your
That'd
kidneys
probably be
shut
pretty
down.
bad, yeah. Just pissing blood constantly.
Your shits would just be like your intestines.
Yeah, they'd just be like white and or like you said, just chunks of just
Chunks
meat
of-
coming out.
Oh, dude, imagine shitting out like your your colon would fall out.
You
And you'd flush a toilet and all your intestines.
you would
just shoot down the-
prolapse, but like to the next step.
Yeah, it would.
Like-
You would become inside out
Yeah, you
so
just
fast.
you'd just be a meatless person. You'd just be all like raw and red just because it's like the inside of your body.
Oh, I feel like a lot of zombies or people who infected would become like translucent, like super pale.
Yeah, it's like a Voldemort kind of way. Just
Yeah,
like
but
all the
like-
blue veins and just
Like,
white.
oh, that'd be kind of cool. Like that'd be a cool visual for a zombie. Like you could see the bones and like the muscle.
Yeah,
moving
and,
underneath
like,
the skin.
You know when like a
Ugh.
corpse sits in a body or like a corpse sits in water for a while, it starts to get
Mhm.
like really swollen and soft and just like you don't even dare to poke at it.
Yep.
That's what life would be like.
I mean, some people are already built like that.
I'm built like that after a few beers. I don't dare to poke out my belly.
Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think burning them would be a horrible idea because they would blow up?
Yeah, bro. I didn't even think about that. Think about like When people
Yeah,
burn trash and they throw like a spray paint can in there, yeah, that's just going
yeah.
to be a big bloated gas zombie.
That's how it becomes airborne.
Yep, zombie. Yeah,
That's
exactly. Literally.
it'd be
Yeah,
like tear gas, but zombie.
just a shit smelling gas, just a brown fog over the city.
See, that's how you infect other. That's how you weaponize them. Is that when people die and bloat, you launch them into other
Yes,
countries.
we need a trebule,
Trebuchet,
trebuchet.
catapult.
That's what we need.
One
We
big
just
enough so that
launch
I can
them.
from America over to like China,
Yep,
across the ocean.
across the sea.
Well, you have to do it with such a force that the body doesn't rip into a million pieces
No,
over like,
we
the
just
ocean.
strap them on like one-way jets.
Just just 9/11, but with zombies. Okay, so after that, we kind of chat a little bit, and this is going to be a two-part episode because the next sections are pretty dense.
And we're on slide 13 out of about 30. So
Yeah.
we're halfway through, and we got to cut this off before.
We don't want the episode to be like 5 hours, so
No.
we're gonna cut it off now, and then we'll pick up again, maybe next episode or the episode after, with the environmental effects of the zombie apocalypse. So
Which is where it starts to get dense. And so,
yeah, there's a lot of reading and a lot of discussion to have. So to make it more enjoyable, we're gonna kind of break it up a little bit.
yeah. And with that, next episode will either be Aliens Part 2 or Zombies Part 2. We're not sure. We're going to get our schedule figured out. But either way, you can expect Aliens or Zombies next episode.
Or
And-
alien zombies.
Or
depending on-
alien crab zombies. Who fucking knows at this point, dude? Honestly.
Oh, and if you have any like plans for the zombie apocalypse or any thoughts about what you would do, email us
Yes.
with them at
Yes.
the thoughtvoidpodcast@gmail.com or comment them on YouTube if that's something you're into.
Yeah, and we'll read them out, and it'll be a lot of fun. We can read them at
It'd be
the end
kinda
of
cool.
part 2, and that'd be a lot of fun. So please do that. That'd be
Mhm.
good. That'd be good for us.
But like and share. We're pretty much on everything. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We see you guys actually listening somewhat, and some of you aren't subscribed, and that's fucked up. That's highway robbery, okay? Subscribe.
Like, I'm depressed about it, and that's your fault.
Yeah, this is a cry for help, guys. But
I don't want a real job. That's what
no,
I'm trying to say.
same. Bye.
So yeah.